Well, we're back again with another Mythic Plus Affix update post on the War Within beta. Blizzard has announced that M Plus affixes, they've removed the Frenzied affix and added a new affix and nerfs to the Ascendant affix. Okay. Greetings, Dungeoneers. Thank you for all your feedback on the new M Plus affix system. As we continue to review community responses for future adjustments, we made the following updates in this week's beta build. New affix. Continuing with the theme of Xal'atath's Bargain, where players can harness powerful boons granted to dungeon enemies by the Harbinger, we're adding a new affix to our beta testing this week. Let me mute my game sound. Oh my gosh. Xal'atath's Bargain Voidbound. While in combat, Xal'atath summons Void emissaries to empower nearby enemies, gradually increasing their damage. Upon defeating the Void emissary, players harness the Void's energy for themselves, increasing their crit strike chance by 20% for 20 seconds. Affix adjustments. Xal'atath's Bargain Ascended. We've seen a lot of feedback regarding the visual noise caused by the number of orbs being created. To address this issue, we're reducing the total number of orbs from the Ascendants from 20 to 10. Xal'atath's Bargain Frenzied. We've heard feedback that this affix feels less visible compared to Ascendant and is more punishing due to its passive nature without too much counterplay. It's also less thematic compared to Ascendant, where Xal'atath is present throughout the dungeons. With these considerations, we're removing the affix from beta testing. Interesting. Okay, so the change to Ascendant, I think, is really good. Blizzard talked time and time again about nameplate clutter in M+, being too much. I thought that whenever they were looking at Ascendant, the amount of nameplates that you were seeing from the orbs themselves were actually really high. As for Voidbound, so I actually just got out of an M+ dungeon whenever I'm recording this. Let me pull up what Voidbound looks like. So Voidbound's a little bit weird, and I actually think that it's going to change from what we were seeing during our testing. Basically, what would happen is they would summon a Void emissary, and you would basically purge the Void emissary to get a bunch of crit strike. I think it's kind of bugged right now on implementation. I suspect that this is going to get changed over time. Xal'atath summons Void emissaries to empower nearby enemies, gradually increasing their damage. Upon defeating the Void emissary, players harness the Void energy for themselves, increasing their crit strike chance by 20%. So how I kind of assume that this is going to work is occasionally you're going to get this Void emissary summoned, and it's going to tether to the mobs around it. By doing damage to the mob, it's going to also inflict damage to like the shield that the mob has. Right now it's like purgeable, but that got fixed in the middle of our key, and so I suspect that it's not going to be purgeable for long. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, here's a clip of it working. So basically what would happen is like there is this Void emissary that would summon, and I think that it's going to end up tethering to these mobs is how it's going to sound, and then the shield gets hit off of the mob based on how much damage you're doing to the mobs. And I think that then once it's defeated, you're going to get 20% critical strike chance. I think this is a lot better than, being able to purge the shield off. I think that purging the shield off seems like a complete mistake. As for my thoughts, this is fine. I don't think that this is like really too much. I don't really have too many thoughts yet without being able to test it, but I think that at a first glance, this reads like it's okay. As for the removal of Frenzied, I actually do agree with where they're coming from Frenzied, and so I think that all the changes to the Ascendant, the Frenzied, all of this is great. I'm actually really liking the new Kiss Curse affixes that they're designing, and I think that they're really well designed. I've seen kind of some sentiment where high-end players are kind of sad that they're not going to be able to play with the Kiss Curse affixes just as a whole because they're so well designed and because they're kind of interesting. But all in all, I'm not going to complain too much. I think that in general, these are going to be pretty cool affixes. I hope that this Voidbound one with the Void emissary isn't too much to deal with. If it is kind of what I'm expecting it to be, then I think it will be a fairly solid affix as well. Anyhow, those are my thoughts. Those are the changes to the new affix system and the new affix update. That's going to be it for me today in this YouTube video. Goodbye.